And good afternoon from the lobby of Bruner Motors on the corner of the South Loop and Lillian Street in Stephenville. Make sure you stop by as there's plenty of free food, courtesy of the pizza place. We have refreshments and Tarleton athletic giveaways later in the half hour. The Coach Lonn Reisman radio show is sponsored by the Bruner Auto family, so we want to thank them for their support in making the show possible. Coach, good afternoon. Tough loss to Midwestern. How the guys regrouped?
Well, Casey, I mean, we're getting all ready for Cameron right now. You have to move on. There's no doubt about it. Every game in this league is going to be tough, and it's going to be a war every night out there. And it was a tough loss on Wednesday night, but we got to regroup, get ready to go on the road.
Let's get the show kicked off by recapping the two games this past week. It got started on Saturday night, the home Lone Star Conference opener against then 5-8 Texas A&M Kingsville, and right off the bat, we found out that Coach Estelle's team would play hard.
Oh, and we knew that. I've watched his teams play since he was a coach in junior college, and we know that they would come in here and really dig their heels in and trying to get their first win of the year. And they played us very, very physical and very, very, very. The effort was tremendous, and we had to match that effort, and I thought we did match that effort.
With 6:28 remaining in the game, your team trailed 43-42. Then you went on a 17-1 run. What was the difference down the stretch?
Well, I just think that, again, Casey, we made some plays, and, the game gets a little easier when you can make baskets. And I didn't think we particularly shot the ball well that night. I think we had one of our lowest shooting percentages of the year. We didn't shoot the ball as well as I would like to have us, but again, we competed well, and I think we got a couple of steals, and I think we got a little bit of momentum, and we got a couple of rebounds when we had to, and I think it just kind of broke the game at that moment.
Yeah, and you played great defense. The Javelinas coach didn't make a field goal the last 7 minutes and 47 seconds of the game. That's almost unheard of in conference play.
I would think so. I mean, it just, again, it was one of our best defensive efforts. I thought we just played well and really put a lot of effort out all night long.
Now, their big weapon was 6'7" forward Troy Jones, and I thought you did a good job of getting him out of the game early. He had 3 quick fouls in the first half, and you held him to 13 points and 6 boards. But I want to talk to you about what happened on that intentional foul play when he fouled Malcolm Hamilton on the dunk, because that's not a play you see every day.
Yeah, I mean, I think Malcolm just went in, and I just think that, he went in there, and I don't, the officials saw it the way they saw it, and luckily no one was hurt. And it's just people playing hard in this league, Casey. I mean, you're going to see that every night. People are going to play hard. They're going to go after people, I liked his when he got done. He went up and hugged Malcolm.
I was just about to say that.
That showed a lot of class on his part, a lot of sportsmanship, and I just think that he was playing hard.
Yeah, with the 59-44 win over Texas A&M Kingsville, Tarleton State improved to 13-1 overall, picking up their first Lone Star Conference win of the season and their 7th straight at Wisdom Gym. And then we headed into a showdown on Wednesday night against Midwestern. Tarleton now the number 10 ranked team in the nation. The Mustangs come in. Tarleton would fall in that one 78-76. And Coach, we talked a little bit after the game in the first half. You shoot 54%. You hold them to only 14 rebounds.
Yeah, and I thought we played a great first half. Could have actually stretched the lead out more than it was there, Casey. We had about 31-23, and I thought we made some very, very poor decisions at times after we got an 8-point lead and turned the ball right back over 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden it's back to a 2 or 1 point ball game again, which you can't do against great teams. You got to, our team is still learning, maturing, and we make decisions sometimes that are not the best decisions, and until our team matures some and understands the value of the basketball and the value of an 8-point lead, and get into your offense and get some things that you need, and not turn that ball over and give them easy buckets on the transition end, you're going to struggle like that, and that's just a learning experience for some of our guys.
In the second half, you shoot 36%. You're out-rebounded 23-14. Do you feel like that was the biggest key?
There's no doubt. First half, the biggest key was we gave too many easy transition buckets up, although we were leading at halftime. The second half, the difference in the game, I told them last night, was we gave them 14 offensive rebounds. 14 offensive rebounds is 14 extra possessions. Our initial defense must have been pretty good because they missed 14 of those shots. But when you give them 14 second opportunities, you're going to be in trouble.
Preston McNeil, Coach Good, as advertised. He hit 5 3-pointers. He had 23 points. And I thought that shot that he hit with 2:51 remaining, it was kind of a circus shot. I mean, your defense was good, was it not?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're pretty much on him. We could have been in front of him more than on the side of him. But those are things that we're learning as a team. We got people out there that are still, we're 14 games into the year that have not played 30-35 minutes since they've been here. And so, they're getting their indoctrination into this conference right now, and understanding what it takes to win.
Coach, a tough 2-point loss. What's the atmosphere like? Take us in the locker room after the game, and what do you as a head coach have to tell your guys?
I think we're all disappointed. There's no doubt about that, and we have to understand that, I've just put one thing up on the board. All we're looking for is win number 14 right now. We're 13-2. We're looking for win number 14, and when that's going to come, that'll be, we'll see. I mean, you got to take one game at a time. You can't get too high, you can't get too low, because if you do, then you're not going to progress. And you have to come out and you have to have a great practice today. We have to come out and play with a great passion tomorrow night against a very, very good Cameron team. And you got to put that one behind you. You can't sit there and let it linger too long, because it's time to play again. And take what you've done wrong and try as best as you can to improve in those areas of weaknesses that we have.
Coach, I've been around here since 2001 attending games. You've been here since 1988. There was 3,156 fans in attendance, and I really thought it was one of the best basketball atmospheres I'd ever seen.
Well, that's going to bring a lot of people out. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game, very exciting game. Saw a lot of athleticism. You saw a lot of people playing hard on both ends of the floor, and a shot here or a break here or not a turnover here, the whole game could have turned the other way. And those are the things that we have to learn from. And until we learn from those, we're gonna we'll make those kind of errors in games that will cost us. We have to get solid. We got to get tighter. We got to do things more fundamentally, and we got to make good decisions. And you have to make great decisions in a game like that.
With the 78-76 loss to Midwestern State, Coach Reisman's Texans now 13-2 overall and 1-2 in the Lone Star Conference. When we return here on the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show, it's time for our player spotlight, as junior point guard Mike Harge will join the broadcast when Tarleton Texan basketball continues right after this. Welcome back to the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show, live from the lobby of Bruner Auto on the corner of the South Loop and Lillian Street in Stephenville. Time for this week's Tarleton Player Spotlight, and our guest is a player who's appeared in 76 games for the Purple and White, 16 starts, 392 career points, 127 assists, 55 steals. I was going to tell you how many turnovers you've made in your career, but we're going to skip that. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the show junior point guard Mike Harge. Give him a hand, everyone. Harge, how are you? Good to see you, man. Hey, I'm doing all right. Just trying to get ready for Cameron, just like you are. And let's talk a little bit before that about what you've done here recently. On December 30th against South Dakota Mines, you're scoreless. Over the past 4 games, you've averaged 17 points per game. You've set 2 career highs. What's been the difference in your game?
I just feel like it's me playing more aggressive and trying to get to the free throw line.
And this team has lost 2 out of 3. You had that 2-point loss to Midwestern State on Wednesday night. What do you think the biggest area of improvement needs to be moving forward?
I just feel like we need to continue to run our offense and give people the ball when they're hot, and definitely rebounding and playing strong defense.
Now, Coach Reisman told me after the game the other night that the season's early, still a lot of basketball to be played. The sky, contrary to what some people think, the sky is not falling. Was that the message that he kind of had for you guys?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there is a lot of games left, and it's not that we're 0-5 or something like that. I mean, we have 2 losses.
13-2, Of course, at Tarleton State, with the tradition you built here, a couple losses, and
it hurts. It does hurt.
No doubt. Now, what players on the roster take on a leadership role? Obviously, the coaches have a message for you, but who are some of the players in the roster that kind of take on a leadership role after a loss like that?
I don't really feel like it's one person. I mean, we're a team. We get together and we handle our business as we should together. It's not just one person. It's everybody together.
Now, this is your 3rd year to play at Tarleton. Is there an advantage to being a 4-year guy in the system versus a transfer?
I believe so. I mean, me being here for 3 years now, I mean, I know the offense. I know how things should be ran. If you're just coming in, you're new to everything. You don't really know the flow. You don't have that much chemistry as everybody that's been playing together.
And I always think that, and I don't know because I got kicked off my 7th grade basketball team for being too slow and too lazy. But I've always thought that being a point guard in this system at Tarleton as a true freshman would be a very tough thing. What was that like being a freshman on the court?
I mean, I feel like it was tough, but it's a learning lesson. You take what you're given, and you gotta make do.
Has Deshaun Riddick come up to you and try to kind of pick your brain? Because now he's in those shoes.
I mean, yeah, he's asked me a few things here and there, and I mean, all you gotta do is watch, and then when you come on the floor, you gotta produce. So
Nosa Ebenwani, Deshaun Riddick, Mike Harge. What is it with all these Central Texas, Austin guys? A lot of good basketball played down there. You can brag.
I think so. Yeah.
Talk about some of the guys your first 2 years at Tarleton that might not be here today that made an impact on you.
I definitely say Brian Word and Chuck Guy. I mean, Brian, when I was freshman and I was struggling, he was always there to pick me up. And Chuck, he was just a good person to play behind and learn what he sees.
Now, I've gotten to know your dad a little bit this year, and now I know where some of your flash and personality came from. And I didn't know he played professional baseball for a while, did he not?
Yeah, yes, sir, he did.
Does he ever talk about that? I mean, I notice he has a big ring on his finger.
He doesn't really brag about it too much, but, you know, he'll bring it up every once in a while.
Yeah, and did you ever want to play baseball and follow in his footsteps?
When I was younger, I played baseball. I played outfield. Ball didn't really come to me because I was young.
Yeah.
People weren't hitting the ball out there. So I kind of didn't like it that much, so I decided to, you know, go my own path.
Hoop it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, time for our quick fire round. Pretty simple. I'm going to say a name, a topic, or a subject, and just a quick response. You can't talk for a minute, just maybe one sentence. You ready, Flash?
Yeah.
Funniest teammate?
Muhammad Lee and Mercedes Lane.
I can see that. Toughest player that you've had to guard in the conference?
Chuck Guy.
Yeah, that's a legal answer because you had to guard it. The biggest thing Coach Reisman's taught you?
Don't take any team for granted. I mean, everybody's going to give us our best shot. And, of course, we have a target on our back every game. And everybody wants to beat Tarleton. So
That's too long of an answer for the quick fire.
My bad.
I'm messing with you. Favorite food?
Mexican food.
Favorite professional sports team?
Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. They're having a good year.
Steph Curry.
Coach Chris's scouting report. What's that like?
Very impressive.
Toughest team that you faced as a Texan?
Metro State. They were
Yeah.
a pretty well-coached team.
Yep, freshman year, no doubt about it. The Lone Star Conference tournament in Allen. What do you think about that?
Great experience.
Assistant coach Marlon Cloudy.
Helpful.
The crowd at Wisdom Gym on Wednesday night against Midwestern State.
Amazing.
Your ultimate personal goal as a basketball player. Personal goal.
Knock down all the free throws I can.
You know, you've done a pretty good job of that in the last couple games. Your ultimate team goal as a Texan.
Get past the regional tournament.
A favorite pregame song? Do you have a song you listen to before every game?
Not just one. I mean, I listen to a lot.
What is it? Rap? Country?
Rap, definitely.
All right. I thought it might be a country music song. So.
Nah.
Favorite movie?
Coach Carter.
That's a great one. After basketball, your dream job. If it's not playing professional basketball, what would be your dream job?
To coach. Always want to be around basketball.
So that is our quick fire round by cards. Time now for our final question. On Saturday, you go to Cameron Aggie Gym. It's kind of a different atmosphere, is it not? You played there a couple times. Talk about how big that game is for this team.
It's a very big game because it's our next game.
Have you had an opportunity to look at their personnel yet?
A little bit.
How do they look?
I mean, it's a team, you know. They're going to have to compete. We're going to have to compete.
This guy's well trained, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a hand for junior point guard, Mike Carnes. I appreciate your time, Mike. We'll return in 1 minute. Coach Reisman will rejoin the board broadcast, and we'll preview the matchup with Cameron and West Texas when the Coach Lonn Reisman radio show continues right after this. And, Coach, let's get this segment started by taking a look at the standings in the Lone Star Conference. Just a quick look. Midwestern State 4-0, 15-3 overall. Angelo State 2-0. They're 14-1 on the year. And those two teams, Coach, are going to meet in 1 week in San Angelo. That ought to be a heck of a battle.
I think, yeah, and I think anybody can upset anybody in this league right now, Casey. I think you're going to see some of those 1 and 2 teams beat some of those teams at the top, and especially when they go on the road.
Texas A&M Commerce is at 2-1 and 12-3. I know that Sam and you very good friends, and he feels like he has one of his better teams.
Well, I think he does. I think it's probably his best team that he's had since we beat him in the regional final back in 2005. I think it's one of his best teams he's had in a long time.
So Commerce at 2-1. Your Tarleton Texans 13-2 overall, 1-2 in the conference. West Texas A&M is 1-2. We'll talk about them a little bit shortly. Cameron, we're going to talk a lot about here in a minute. They're at 1-2 and 9-6. Texas A&M Kingsville defeated Eastern New Mexico the other night, so they're at 1-2. And then Eastern New Mexico at no wins and 2 losses at the bottom of the conference. A couple games from Wednesday night. Angelo State 88, West Texas A&M 60. That game was in Canyon, and then Texas A&M Kingsville wins in Portales 75-67. And I guess the margin of victory, at least for me, in that Angelo West Texas game was surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising to me. I haven't had a chance to see West Texas play yet. It must be Angelo played very, very well.
And then there's 4 games on Saturday. Tarleton and Cameron. We'll preview that game shortly. You have West Texas A&M at Kingsville, McMurray at Texas A&M Commerce, and then Eastern New Mexico taking on Angelo State. 2 4 o'clock games and 2 6 o'clock games. Time now to preview the matchup on Saturday between the Tarleton Texans, the number 10 ranked team in the nation, and the Aggies of Cameron University. It's a 4 o'clock tip-off from Lawton, Oklahoma. Coach Gammett's squad 9-6 overall. Coach, they're coming off a 33-point loss to Texas A&M Commerce, and you and I talked about it. Really a shocking margin of victory.
There's no doubt. I think that Commerce probably played one of the best games they played all year, and probably the Aggies of Cameron had one of those games like we had at Angelo State the other night. I've seen them on tape. I can tell you that Cameron is very talented. They pose a lot of problems because of their versatility on the floor. Everybody seems to be able to handle the ball. They have great penetrators. They shoot the ball very well from three. They're 43% on the year, which is one of the tops in the country. And Aggie Gym is a very difficult place to play. It's probably one of the more difficult places to play in the league. And we've been successful there, and we've lost some tough ball games there before.
Yeah, you look at their home record, Coach, 6-1. In 5 of those 7 home games, they've beaten teams by more than 20 points per game.
Yeah, they really offensively are explosive, and I watched them on tape. And I know that it was a lopsided score at Commerce, but with about 7 minutes to go in the first half, it was just 25-20. And Commerce just went on a run, and I think Cameron must have got on had a bad spell in there for 4 or 5 minutes, and that's all it takes for a school to build for a team to build a lead.
DeAndre Way leading the way for Nate Gammick's team, Coach. He's averaging 16.5 per game. He's listed as a forward on the roster, but a pretty versatile player.
Yeah, he can play the 2, 3, or the 4, so he gives them a lot of versatility. I think he started at the 2 the other night, but he can play the 3, he can play the 4. It gives them somebody to bring in to get a lot of mismatches, and he does a good job of that.
And this is a team that can really kill you with the 3 ball.
No doubt.
You talked about it, 43% as a team, and they've got Ray, who's 3rd in the conference at 43%. And then they've got DJ Jackson, who I believe leads the conference at 56% from the arc.
Yeah, they really can shoot it, and DJ can really shoot it deep. You've just got to get up on him, and you've got to make him put the ball on the floor. And we're going to have to really understand our scouting report.
And not only do they shoot the 3 good, I guess what impressed me looking at the stat sheet, Coach, their rebounding margin, 10th in the nation, plus 10.
Yeah, they're plus 10, and they go to the boards. They're averaging 38.5 a game is what I have, they're a team to be reckoned with. Now this team is very dangerous. I think this team is going to beat people, and I think they can upset people, especially at home. And we really have to work hard for this ball game.
Now you coached at Southeastern Oklahoma for 6 years, and at Connors Junior College. You're used to playing at these Oklahoma schools. What is it about that field house in Lawton that makes it difficult?
Well, it's definitely it's
old school.
It's an old school facility. The fans are right on top of you there. It's a smaller gym than what we're used to playing in all year long, but they have a great tradition at Cameron. They've had some great teams back in the 80s and 90s. They won some national championships in NAI basketball back then, and so it is a good basketball tradition school, and we've been fortunate to win some games there. We've lost some heartbreakers there, Casey, and so we're going to have to take our game to the floor tomorrow night and have to execute and to see if we can come up with a win.
Yeah, and I've been there a few times, and they might only average 561 fans per game. But they'll have some fans there that make that place feel like 5,000.
It does, because I think it probably only holds about 12 to 1,500 people, and so when you put 500, 600, 700 people in there, that gym's half full. And it is a loud gym. If you've ever noticed the acoustics in there.
Yeah, it's a loud gym, and it just seems like they hit a lot of 3-pointers.
Yeah, they do. They shoot the ball.
They're there.
They've always been known to shoot the ball well at home. They always shoot the ball well at home, and you just cannot let it sit back on your heels and just let them have wide open jump shots.
It's the Texans and the Aggies in the 34th all-time meeting between the two programs. Then on Wednesday night, you return home to face a 10-6 West Texas A&M team. And Coach, I know you haven't even had a chance to think about West Texas, but Tom Brown's come in from Winona State and done a real nice job.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at them at all, Casey, but I know that that they're having a good season. They're very solid, and they're another one of those teams that you better prepare for, that are at that 1-2 or 2-2, and that's what I'm saying. The season's early. Some of these teams that end up 1-3 or 1-4, you don't know where they're going to be. They're going to still be right there at the end, because every team in the conference is going to the conference tournament, and so you're going to meet all 8 of them up there one more time. And it's going to be a knock down. They're just some people that can, usually when you look top to bottom, you really have a bottom bunch that can't really beat the top. But I think this is a year that you better be careful on that, because there could be some big upsets.
Look at West Texas A&M. They get a new head coach in. They're 10-6. They've defeated Pittsburgh State, Lubbock Christian, and Cameron. And Coach, I was looking at their roster this morning. They have all 11 guards on their roster.
They are wide open. They shoot the ball. You're going to see, and the same thing with Cameron. Cameron has probably their biggest strength is their transition game. They run up and down the floor, and if you let them get into their transition game, and you're going to give them layup after layup, then you're going to get beat.
Yeah, and they say there's 11 guards on the West Texas A&M roster. We know a little bit about Antoine Ball.
Yeah,
he's athletic, and he's not really a guard, is he?
No, he's not. He's an inside player and a very good one.
Antoine Ball won the National High School Slam Dunk Contest back in 2011. So it's West Texas A&M and Tarleton State. That game at Wisdom Gym on Wednesday night. It's a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Coach and I will take our final break here, and when we return in 1 minute, we'll have door prizes. We'll roll the dice, and again, if you are not here at the show, make sure you come out each week. We have pizza, courtesy of the pizza place. We roll the dice each week. You can win an oil change, a car wash, a Tarleton t-shirt, a Tarleton hat, or you could win that grand prize to the Allen tournament, to the Lone Star Conference tournament. And as part of that prize package, Coach, I think you get dinner, gas, a car wash, and tickets to all sessions. Pretty good little prize package.
Pretty good prize.
Yeah, now you've got to roll the dice, and we're going to do this when we return after this, when the Coach Lonn Reisman radio show continues on the Tarleton Sports Network. Congratulations to the Tarleton Texans, that are off to a 9-3 start. They're 3-1 in the Lone Star Conference after defeating number 20 ranked Midwestern State on Wednesday night, 60-56. Coach, they snapped the Lady Mustangs' 12-game winning streak. Really a signature win for a young head coach in Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, Mr. did a great job. I was really proud of them. And I'll tell you what, when you go out on the floor and you got a great crowd there to support you, it really helped our Texans there. We had a great crowd for them and a very enthusiastic crowd and a great win for our women.
No doubt about it. Coach Wilson's squad will look for another big win on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock against the 5-7 and 2-1 in the conference Cameron Lady Aggies. The pregame show at 1:45. I want to remind you the Coach Misty Wilson radio show every Thursday at noon from the lobby of First Financial Bank in Stephenville. Again, the next broadcast of Tarleton Texan basketball. If you can't make it, we hope you can make it out to Cameron. It's not a bad drive at all, Coach. 3 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours up the road.
Depending on what bus driver gets.
There you go.
Yes. If you can't make it out to Cameron, we'd love for you to listen to the radio broadcast at 4 o'clock from Aggie Gymnasium. The National Farm Live pregame show at 3:45 with the Coach Chris Reisman pregame interview. We'll have starting lineups and keys to the game. And again, every broadcast of Texan and Texan basketball here on the Tarleton Sports Network, the flagship station, 90.5 FM KTRL in Stephenville, Granbury, and Fort Worth, and on the World Wide Web at tarletonsports.com/listen live. Again, Tarleton basketball returns to Wisdom Gymnasium Wednesday night against the Lady Buffaloes and the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M at 5:30 and 7:30. And another great crowd here at Wisdom Gym. Coach, the Plowboys here, I know you always appreciate their support. So we want to give away some items here at the show. And again, we're going to roll the dice. And Coach, what's the rule with the dice?
You got to roll. Can't skid it.
You cannot skid it. You have to roll it. So
who's the judge over there? Troy Jones?
Yeah, Troy Jones filling in for Susan Burton today. So Troy, not that Troy Jones plays for Texas A&M Kingsville, I might add. This is Assistant Athletic Director Troy Jones. Don't want anyone to get confused. So we're going to roll the dice. You can win a shirt. You can win a hat, a car wash, or an oil change courtesy of Bruner Motors. Our first winner, a plowboy himself, Jarrett Vincic. I hope I said that right. Jarrett, come on down, Jarrett. Thanks again to the Plowboys for being here. Jarrett will roll the dice, and we'll see what he'll win. Roll it. That was a good roll there. And we almost got the grand prize. It's a hat for Jarrett.
You got a hat.
Thank you, Jarrett. Appreciate the Plowboys.
Kathy Dole has the hats back there.
So Miss Kathy will get you a hat. Randy Haney. Randy, come on down. Randy, come on down and roll that dice.
Roll the dice.
No skidding.
There it is.
We've yet to have a grand prize. Oh, he gets a shirt. Randy.
He gets a shirt.
Thank you, Randy, for participating. And a guy that is no stranger to rolling the dice, C.D. Jones. C.D., come on down. Did I just call him out on the radio? I guess I did. C.D., come on down. Let's see.
C.D.'s never gambled in his life.
Never. He doesn't look like a gambler. See if he can get that grand prize.
He gets
in the grand prize. So you don't win it yet. You are entered into the grand prize roll-off. I think you made it last year, didn't you? Yes. This is the second year in a row that he's made the grand prize roll-off.
Did he roll that or skid it?
I think he skidded it. We'll give him that. So CD is now in the grand prize roll-off. So at our final show before the Lone Star Conference tournament, we'll have the grand prize roll-off.
CD needs to go play the lottery tonight. Right?
Yeah. I think the Powerball or Mega Millions, one of them's up to like 400 million, so you might go grab a ticket. But CD, congratulations. Thanks to Jarrett, Randy, and our entire live audience here at Bruner Motors. We want to thank the pizza place in Stephenville for providing today's food. A big thanks to junior point guard Mike Cards for joining us early in the show. I want to thank our producer, Aaron Young, back at the KTRL studio, our on-site engineer to my left, the one and only Jody Lee Cottle. Thanks, Jody. And I want to thank the Bruner Auto family for sponsoring the show. Last but not least, thanks to each and every one of you for listening and for your support of Tarleton State Athletics. Coach, a tough game against Cameron, and I think we've broken it down about as much as we can break it down. It's just time to play, right?
It is. Cameron's going to be a very tough game on Saturday night, and then we come home against West Texas on another rivalry on Wednesday. And the games kind of get bigger and bigger. They do, Casey, and we'll see how our team comes back from defeat. You know, good teams come back from defeat, and we got to get it going and play hard and continue to do the things we've done to win 13 ball games.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck getting on the left side of the column on Saturday.
Thank you, Casey.
That's going to do it for the second edition of the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show. For the 27th year head coach of the Texans, I'm Casey Hogan saying so long from Bruner Motors at Stephenville. Until next time, have a great Friday, everyone, and I'll talk to you Saturday afternoon from Lawton, Oklahoma.